Oh, it's time to find a good movie to watch this weekend with a little help from our favorite movie buddy, Jackson Murphy from lights-camera-jackson.com. How are you?
Hello, Randy. I'm Batman.
I've been looking forward to this Batman. The Batman is out, and I've seen all the previews, and I got my fingers crossed. How is it?
Okay, I saw it the other night. It's all right. It's just under 3 hours. It's very much a Robert Pattinson, Jeffrey Wright movie. Pattinson being Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Jeffrey Wright being Lieutenant James Gordon. Their relationship, their scenes are pretty strong. There is also a spectacular car chase between Batman and the Penguin, who's played by Colin Farrell, completely unrecognizable, and Colin Farrell also channels Robert De Niro with his performance, you could tell. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, solid. All the stuff with the Riddler and a social media TV news aspect, kind of weak. Paul Dano as the Riddler, not a huge fan of everything going on there. Also some very familiar themes about the Wayne family, power struggles. We've seen all of that before. And it's a very darkly lit film. It is difficult to actually see much of what goes on in the first half of The Batman, but that was all intentional. So overall, a mixed bag on The Batman. I think most fans should be satisfied for the most part.
All right, now from the trailers I watched, his Batmobile doesn't look as cool as the ones in the past. It looks like an old Oldsmobile. How is it?
No, it's cool. No, that is cool. And that sequence, Matt Reeves, who directed the last two Planet of the Apes movies, does some really cool tricks with the camera during that sequence. So yeah, that's impressive. Even the entrance into the Bat Cave early on in the movie is cool. So yeah, a lot of strong technical aspects.
Okay, good. We're talking to Jackson Murphy, our favorite movie reviewer. The Crazy Redhead is back in a documentary. What do we got here?
Lucy and Desi, a new documentary on Prime Video directed by Amy Poehler, looks at the lives of these two comedy icons and their real comedy career achievements. Even some representatives from the National Comedy Center and the Lucy and Desi Museum in Western New York get some comments into the film. It's not the most intricately made doc ever made, but you do learn a few new things about Lucy and Desi, their lives, working on I Love Lucy. And what Amy Poehler does nicely towards the end is bring in the emotion, especially with a few key clips and some comments from Lucy and Desi's daughter, Lucy, and Carol Burnett. So overall, a nice film, Lucy and Desi on Prime Video.
Okay. And there's another documentary about one of our sister stations.
Yes, Worst to First, the rise of Z100 New York, one of the most influential radio stations in the country, all about Scott Shannon. Randy, I'm sure you're familiar with Scott Shannon and Z100. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of him before.
Yes. It is so fun learning about the origins of Morning Zoo radio and Top 40 radio and all that intersecting in the 80s and what Scott Shannon was able to do for radio. Some very cool stories about certain artists, including Madonna. If you're really into this, if this is your jam, you will be grinning. Worst to First is available on digital platforms.
All right. And then there's a rom-com thriller out this weekend. What's this one about?
On Hulu, called Fresh, with Daisy Edgar Jones and Sebastian Stan, about the horrors of modern dating. And Searchlight Pictures acquired this just before it premiered at Sundance in January, already putting it out on Hulu. So clearly they have a lot going for Fresh, wanting this out on Hulu.
All right. And there's something for the sci-fi fans this weekend.
Yes, at the Spectrum and on Showtime tonight at 9 o'clock, a drama called After Yang. It is about robots acting as babysitters and a quest to repair some lives. You know who's in this? Colin Farrell. He's in 2 movies this weekend. He stars in this along with Haley Lou Richardson and Jodie Turner-Smith from Queen and Slim. It's actually based on a short story. So After Yang at the Spectrum and on Showtime.
All right, we've been talking to Jackson Murphy, our favorite movie reviewer. We'll put up the trailers there at 995theriver.com. Now, you have got all kinds of stuff on your social media and on your website. Where do people find you?
Yes, Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson. The website is lights-camera-jackson.com, and expect a $150 million weekend for The Batman. I really think it's going to do well.
Woo, can't wait to see it. Thank you, Jackson. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.